Good evening everyone and welcome to League of Europe F1 2019 Division 1 Round 6 here in Spain at the Circuit de Barcelona, Catalonia. We are here in the Catalonian region of this great country, and as always I'm JemsHead14 and I will be taking you through the action here tonight. We do have 18 drivers out on track preparing to get ready to start here tonight. But before we begin, and you're wondering why I've started the stream slightly early, it's because we have had some very sad and breaking news in the last couple of minutes or so. Around the last half an hour, 45 minutes, we've had confirmation. If you're not aware of the situation, there was a horrific crash in Formula 2 earlier on today involving French driver Antoine Hubert, Juan Manuel Carrera, and also one of the Italian drivers as well. His name has gone off me at this moment, but sadly we have lost Antoine Hubert. He has succumbed to his injuries from that horrific crash in Formula 2. Motorsport will always be having that risk and danger element within it, even if safety of course is paramount, but they can never really get rid of the risk and the danger that is put into motorsport, any form of motorsport at that. And sadly it is a very rare occurrence that this things happens to drivers. It is tragic to hear of a passing, and I think it'll affect the whole wider motorsport community as well as everyone else within the F2 community, certainly. So I've started this stream tonight as we will pay tribute to Antoine Hubert, and we will begin off this stream with a minute's silence, which will begin from now. Thank you to everyone that did participate in that 1 minute silence, and of course our heartfelt condolences from everyone at League of Europe and indeed within the wider motorsporting community is with Antoine Hubert's family, friends, colleagues and the wider F2 community at what I'm sure is a very, very tragic and very sad time for everyone involved. But on a brighter note, I've started the stream a little bit early just to get through a bit of the necessities for tonight. Of course, we are here in Spain, round 6 of the championship at the Circuit de Barcelona, Catalonia, and of course we are here tonight to have some great action out on track, and I'm sure these 18 drivers will just bring that on track very nicely indeed. And I do believe also put out in the Discord, drivers will exit the pits from around 17 minutes to give a minute's tribute to Antoine Hubert, their driver's tribute essentially. That has been confirmed, I think, within the Discord, so if you haven't seen that, I'll just make you aware of that before we begin. But let's get on to the more boring stuff now. It's the championship standings. I know. But Montana is leading the way on 101 points for the Williams team. His teammate Rafa in second. Rafa, I don't think is in attendance here tonight. Rumours going around on Twitter. Oh, he is here tonight. I'm a bit shocked in that, because he did say he was thinking of retiring from league racing, according to rumours that I saw on his own Twitter. But it's good to see Rafa here anyways. Harrison David in third. He is the one that is not going to be attending here tonight then, after that crash with Marquez's last time out in Baku. No need to go into detail what happened really. Just need to tell you really that Harrison David hopefully will be back next week for round 7 of the championship. He's on 76 points, Rafa on 78. Then there's a huge margin down to Waluigi, who's been very consistent in his recent weeks. He's in 4th for the Ferrari team, so Williams and Ferrari dominating really, 31 points for Waluigi there. Wouters in 5th in the Racing Point on 27, then it's a very tight gap. YHYY on 26, Cantera on 25, Doom on 23, Bullet Boy on 22, and NSX Maslina, that is a bit of a name change. He is not going to be attending, I don't think, here tonight, but that is NSX Valtteri, for anybody that is wondering. He is on 21 points respectively, I do believe I've can that up there. Yeah, Dakar is in 11th place on 20. Hasn't started the last 2 races. I don't think he's attending here tonight either, which is a shame. Xjari's in 12th on 16. We've got ILRT Sterling on 15. LOE V5HRL on 8, tied with Rick and Larkin. And that is for joint 14th place on 8 points respectively. Throw into that Killer Blue as well on his debut last time out. Very good debut actually from Killer Blue last time out, finishing 6th in Baku. Very good performance from him, and he's also on 8 points. Marquez is on 6, Jesse is on 6, CA993 is on 6, and that's filling out the top 20. So obviously focusing on tonight's action, we have of course paid that tribute to Antoine Hubert. I'm sure a lot of comments will flood through in the stream. If you do want to pay your own personal tribute, I will read it out of course over the stream, and I think it is really important to stress that Antoine, and I'm sure he was at the peak of his, well, not the peak of his racing career, he had his career to look forward to, and it is tragic circumstances, and what resemblance that might have on Formula 1 tomorrow remains to be seen. I'm sure we will try and get something out there in the future, or the FIA will certainly do that. Yeah, it just puts a dampener on things really for tonight. This sad news, but hopefully everyone is up for racing and up for giving the drivers and up for giving you, the viewers, a very good time out on track. And just to note, actually, I've just noticed a driver that did well in track tonight, VRT Schiaparelli. 3 points scored for the VRT team in the Red Bull. He's could be a one to watch out for here tonight. Just have a look out for him here tonight. But I do believe, as I say, we are going to be starting off this qualifying session with a minute's lull in the action, and then we'll get straight into qualifying again. And fantastic attendance from everyone that has turned up. 18 drivers ready to do battle. Welcome back to Gary Donegan as well, Formula 2 driver who is now an F1 reserve. He is back with us here tonight, and he also scored 3 points last time out in Baku on his debut, so a very good debut from him. I'll look through the comments now. I've got my iPad right next to me so I can check through the comments. Good evening to everyone that is tuning in. Bullet Boy pulling in the comment section there. I hope you have a good time, mate, but that news is devastating. Yeah, it is really devastating. It just, as I say, it puts a dampener on things, but like everything, the show rolls on. I am here to commentate on the action for all of you guys, and hopefully we will see some great driving out on track, and hopefully we'll see some record-breaking laps here in Spain tonight. So, as the drivers will come out onto track, with around 17 minutes to go, there's about 30 seconds left on my screen. I think with the drivers it'll be 30 seconds ahead, so their session might have just started now. I will come on to more about the track as soon as we get into qualifying. We'll just take a pause for a minute while this happens. And I do apologise in advance as well. My voice is not quite as vocal as needs be, but 17 minutes now on the clock. Not sure if that is coming up also on other people's ends. but I think they might have another 30 seconds left on this. But I can hear revving up engines, and I think the first car is about to come out on track very shortly indeed in the Racing Point. And yeah, we're getting a lot of activity now. It's the Saubers that are coming out. It's in fact Montana that is coming out. Missed him coming out the pits. He's on a yellow wall. He's on a white wall. Hard compound of tyre, and of course 16 corners here in Spain. 2 DRS zones, one on the start finish straight between turn 16, the final corner, and turn 1. And also on essentially what is called the back straight here. I'm not sure if you can really call it a back straight, but that is between turns 9 and turn 10, so pretty much halfway, 3/4 of the way around the lap here in Spain. We should be looking at optimal times, possibly I think the last game I saw, certainly it was like 1:17s, 1:16s possibly. I think we'll go a little bit below that, to be honest. I haven't really had the time to see what sort of times these guys have been doing, sadly, but what I can be very confident in saying is that we will have some very good lap times here tonight. And just give you a little bit of sense on what you're seeing out on track if you are new to League of Europe. Montana just upping it there to ERS mode 5, which is hot lap mode. And he goes into that mode now as they come down the start-finish straight, opening up that DRS zone, and down now to start his lap. The Swiss driver, current championship leader on 101 points, looking to keep up that good run of form. 2 wins this season, 2 seconds and a third to his name. Montana goes attacks through turns 1 and 2, now into turn 3 now, looking very good indeed here from Montana. The Swiss man, of course, looking to right the wrongs of last week and possibly trying to earn himself a fluke win. It could have been Harrison Davids for the win last week. Of course, Montana did win last time out. And through turn 5, turn 6, and now into the complex of turn 7 and 8. Very tricky corner this. You can lose the back end on exit through turn 8. Luckily Montana didn't. He's now coming through turn 9. Here's the second DRS zone just being activated now. He can reach an excess of around 195 miles an hour onto the braking zone. I think that was his teammate in behind just going a little bit wide. Possibly Rafa on a lap, possibly just in behind. I think that was Williams behind him anyways. Montana now into the technical final sector here in Spain. Through turn 11 and 12, now into 13, and then through the tricky chicane of 14 and 15. Of course, the improvements made to this track doesn't mean that they go wide of the track that you normally see in like GT3 racing round here. Now through the final corner, Montana will set a first lap of a 1:18.8, and that is a very nice lap to begin off with. Let's see who else is out on track. Got Gary Donegan going slow on an outlap, just getting out of the way of people there. Somebody was just coming into the pits. I think that was Rick coming into the pit. ILRT Sterling just coming across the line as invalidated to 1:20.2. Bullet Boy was 6/10 off him. Rafa is back into the pits. V5 HRL though round the final 2 corners. Well, through the final chicane and now coming through the final corner in the McLaren. He's going to go slower than both of these guys. This is not an invalidated time. It isn't, and it's a 20.3, so V5 HRL goes third at this stage, and we are nearly 5 minutes through qualifying. Game Boy just coming across the line to invalidate on 22.6 there, as well. Ouija has just popped up into third, about a 10th off Bullet Boy with a 19.5. All interestingly on a set of hard compound of tyres. Marquez is just a Sauber getting out of the way there. Alfa Romeo, I think that might have been ILRT Sterling getting out of the way there. Marquez is on a lap. He's on a set of soft compound of tyre. He hasn't got much ERS left. He needs to save up his ERS here. There is a yellow flag in Sector 1 and Sector 2. Xjari, in the meantime, is set at 20.6 on a set of softs. Schiaparelli has just gone up to 5th, the German. And we are 5 minutes here, through 5 minutes here in qualifying. And it is Montana out on top with 4/10 gap from YHYY, who's gone second with a 19.2. Bullet Boy in third with a 19.4. And that's how the land lies, as we are about 5 minutes through qualifying. In the meantime, you're on board with the Irishman Marquez's, who is deciding to come into the pits and cuts the inside of the pit lane. Now, you can pick up a penalty, I've been informed, in the race. There's a yellow flag in Sector 3. That is Maledictus round. Maledictus is round, and that is the right-hander, and I think that's a turn 12. On the exit of turn 12, just before turn 13, must have lost the back end. Of course, if you get caught on the curb there, it can cost you considerable time on your lap, especially if you overrun it too much, and I think that's what we might have seen with the Portuguese driver there, Maledictus. Of course, for Clean Vigor Racing, as Gary Donegan has just come on board with him, and he goes 4th. The 19.4 splitting between Bullet Boy and Waluigi there. So nice lap from Gary Donegan, who of course made his debut last week in Baku. A very impressive performance from him last week as well from the... I think he's Irish anyways. I'm going to call him Irish just for the sake of it. With 3 points last week in Baku. Doesn't really reflect how he did in the race, to be honest. He was driving very, very well indeed. And of course... yeah, he performed really well, as I say, and Gary Donegan just running wide there. Not many coming through out on laps at the minute. Rick has just started a lap. We've got Doom just starting a lap, but we have got Game Boys on a lap. Again, another member of the Clean Vigor Racing team, which I had the privilege of covering in Mini League 2 for TTG Esports earlier on in the week. If you haven't watched that, come and follow me back over to TTTV later on at 8:30 as I cover the Project Cars 2 action over there. You can also catch up on some of my commentaries that I've been doing this week. But Game Boys through the middle sector, 52.1. Again, he's on a set of hard compound of tyres, which seems to be the norm. Killer Blue has just gone into second, by the way, with a 19.1 and Mercedes. It's a very nice lap there from, again, one of our debuting drivers. It's only a second race here in League of Europe, certainly this season anyways. As Game Boys comes through the final couple of corners, and he's coming into the pits. Absolutely typical, he decides to come into the pits. Mercedes just getting out of the way there. We'll go on board with Doom now coming through the middle sector. This is through turns 11 and 12 now at the top of the hill. Highest point on the track here in Spain. Of course, there's there's an elevation change here of around 40 metres, which in terms doesn't seem like much, but when you see it in real life, the track does dip down quite considerably. I think Doom might go quickest here actually. The Spaniard about to come across the line, really puts it to the saw, and it's an 18.3 and he goes just under 5 tenths, just under 5 tenths of a second clear of Montana. Struggling to get my words out there. YHYY in the meantime has just gone third, just picked up on that, as Rafa has set a lap and he goes second, so betters his teammate by about 3 tenths of a second there. There's a yellow flag in sector 1. Which I think was somebody just coming out the pits and letting Doom through possibly there, and that is Doom actually going slow in sectors 1 and 2. Larkin has just started the lap in the racing point. He comes through turn 1 and 2. Very nice varying camera angle there with Larkin. We come through now into turn 3. Flat out, of course that's where Vettel lost it in pre-season, if you do remember back. All this time back, about 5-6 months ago, he did lose it there in practice, either this year or last year I think it was. But Larkin now through turns 5 and 6. Now on the run down towards, now through turn 5, now going through the kink at turn 6. Not really counted as I don't really count that as a corner, to be honest. Now through turn 7, just catching the apex nicely, overrunning just a little bit, but that's what you have to do. You don't get an invalidation as a result of it. Now coming through the middle sector, putting one wheel into the gravel there, and I think rightly so. He backs off this lap, 53.2 through the middle sector. Yeah, Larkin has backed off this lap by the seams of it. Williams just going for a bit of an excursion there. That is, I think that might be Rafa trying out the track limits there. It is Rafa, the German. But we are more than halfway through qualifying. We are just counting down the clock. We're about 10 minutes through, just over, or just under I should say. Doom is out on top with an 18.3. Rafa in second with an 18.5, and it's Montana in third with an 18.5 as well. As Rafa looks like he's giving up for a lap here. Montana is down in the first sector by 9 tenths of a second. But the German is on a lap. I'm just going to check the comment section for a minute, so do bear with me if I do go a little bit quiet. Montana's saying my driving is way too shaky. I lost 2 tenths on my lap as well, says Bullet Boy. Just remember, just be confident. Don't try and be shaky out on track. It's the worst thing to do, and I offer this to anyone that is out on track tonight. If you feel the need to, take a break, come back at the end of qualifying and set a really decent lap. I think that is what, because obviously we've had really bad news coming through today in the world of motorsport. Just do that. If any driver does need feel the need to do that, I strongly urge you to do that, because it's the best thing for you. 1,000th down in the middle sector though from Rafa with an 18.5, as, who was that just jumping up into the thingy? I think it might be Xjari. Yeah, Xjari has just gone 7th. Mercedes. So it is currently it's currently Renault, Williams, Toro Rosso, Mercedes at this stage. Very, 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 very strange indeed. But Rafa has backed up this lap. What's that? The final chicane, it seems. Haven't got many drivers on the lap. Got Maledictus and Game Boys on lap, both for the QBR team. The Game Boys now coming through in the Haas. Both teammates, of course, QBR. Looks like Maledictus might be the one that's actually on the lap here. So he's on a set of hard compound of tyres. Ignore the tyre graphic to the left-hand side of your screen, which is saying that he's on soft compound of tyres. Of course, 3 compound of tyres if you are new to Formula 1. Soft compound of tyres is the softest compound of tyre, as Maledictus predictably comes into the pits. Must have been validated a little early on. A little bit of cloud cover now starting to come over the track. But with about 6 minutes to go, it is Dumout on top, Rafa second, Montana in third, with Rick in fourth, YHYY fifth, Killer Blue in sixth, Xjarry seventh, while Luigi, who we are on board with, and I think he's on a lap here in the Ferrari, currently sitting fourth in the standings with 31 points. Very, very consistent driving from him in recent weeks, especially in the last 2 out of the last 3 races. I think he's finished 5th and 4th respectively, and I think that might have been in China and Baku, if I might recall. Waluigi is 2/10 up through this middle sector, so we'll continue to watch him on a lap. Everyone else in the meantime is either came into the pits and are not out on track, or they're purely on down laps, apart from Waluigi and Marquez's, who's just came out on an out lap as well. But Waluigi now attacking this final chicane. Very tricky turn 14 and 15 now. You can run over the sleeping policeman, but that does invalidate your lap considerably. Waluigi now coming across the line. He does improve. He goes up to he goes 2 thousandths quicker than YHYY, and he goes 5th. Waluigi with a 1:18.936. So as I say, only 2 thousandths ahead, and look how close it is between Waluigi, YHYY, and Killer Blue. An 18.9 for Killer Blue. Spread eagle them by about 0.12 of a second, as Game Boys is the first driver that is actually out on a set of medium compound of tyres. As the name suggests, he's on a set of medium compound of tyres, which is the more durable of the 3 compound of tyres here tonight. It does have a little bit more pace in it, but it's not as durable as the hard compound of tyres, which you've seen everyone pretty much qualify on. In the meantime, Marquez's has started all up. The Irishman coming through turns 1 and 2, now through turn 3. Let's just say a little bit at the centre of controversy last week, picking up 10 penalty points as a result of his incident between him and Harrison David. And I can confirm that because that was put in the stewards. That was put out by the F1 steward earlier on today. Marquez is now through turns 4 and 5, looking very nice, attacking that corner very nicely there. Now through turn 6 and turn 7. Coming through turn 7, now through turn 8. Again, just running wide onto the apex slightly. Doesn't catch it. If this was wet conditions, mind, you will not be seeing lap times like this. But Marquez is through the middle sector. 51.3 through the middle sector. That is a very competitive middle sector there from the Irishman in the Red Bull. So he attacks now turn 11 and turn 12. Just run over the curb slightly, but prioritises run now through turn 12. Now on the run into turn 13. 4 corners to go. Now the tricky chicane at turn 14 and 15. Of course, the old layout is just to the back of shot there, as Marquez has decided to come into the pits again. Not sure what Steward's take is on pit limits. I'll just make that aware now. Not sure what drivers, what pit limits are in League of Europe, to be honest, but certainly going over the red and white I don't think counts as pit limits. You've got to stay within the white lines as much as possible, I think. That's how I regulate the rules anyways, but could be different. V5HRL though, in the meantime, coming through sector 2, opening up that DRS now to come down the straight, about 192 mph in the braking zone, improving by 6/10 of a second. We should see, I think, another 3, maybe 4/10 of a second improvement here through this final sector. So we could be looking on an 18.8, which will put them around Rick Waluigi sort of area. V5HRL attacking turns 13, now through turn 14 and 15, attacking that apex just a little bit too much. But nice anyways, V5HRL. As I said, 18.8 could be the one to watch out for, and he improves, and it is an 18.9, so not too far off, but he does jump in behind Rick and ahead of Waluigi there. So he goes 5th, and again, he's the first driver as on the medium compound of tyres. In the meantime, Larkin on the lap. He's also on a set of medium compound of tyres. We have got 2 minutes to go in the qualifying session, so if anybody does want to come out to the pit, now is the time to do it, to try and get a lap in. Space out a premium, of course, here around Spain at the Circuit de Catalunya. As Larkin now is going to improve ahead of Rick, I think. Yeah, 18.6. Just a little bit tetchy at the final corner there. Got caught in the grass. Might have just cost him about 100th, 200ths or so. But not bad lap there from Larkin, who goes P4 in the Racing Points with an 18.6. Rafa has just started the lap. He's through the middle sector. He's a 10th up through the first sector there. So let's back off this, actually, the German. And we'll see when he comes up towards the end of the middle sector. Yeah, I think he's definitely backed off this. He has got a Haas behind him. I think that might be Game Boys on the lap. It is Game Boys on the lap. And a Red Bull in behind as well. That is Marquez's. Chapelelli also on an out lap. In the meantime, we've got Maledictus on a lap. Again, opting for a medium set of compound of tyres. But it's still June, Rafa and Montana. It's still as you were really with the top three. Only subtle changes between Larkin and V5 HRL jumping up positions, as well as Xjarry as well, 19 flat. As V5 HRL retires out the session, the first one to retire with only 45 seconds to go on the clock. Maledictus in the meantime, with 51.5 through the middle sector. Not as quick as some of what we've seen from some of the drivers through there. It's Maledictus now attacks turn 11, now through turn 12. Nice. Got to catch. You don't have to catch the camber of the corner there, really. Red Bull getting out of the way. That was Chapelelli on an out lap, just getting out of the way. He was on a set medium compound of tyres as well, I think. Maledictus now through the final corner at turn 16. Could go ahead of Rafa possibly with this lap. He does. But obviously, a lot of improvements still to find. Rafa is on a lap. Montana is on a lap. Let's watch him through the middle sector. 2/10. I wouldn't be surprised if anybody else does improve. We are now out of time. It is the end of qualifying. And now this is really the time as Killer Blue set to 17.8. First 17 of the night. 4/10 up is Montana. Not really putting it to Killer Blue at this stage. He has to find the time in the middle, in the final sector here, to stand any sort of chance of beating him. Montana drops behind Killer Blue. Could be on for a bit of a shock here in Spain, to be honest. But Killer Blue, Rick goes up the second with an 18 flat. Montana attacks it nicely. Gary Donegan's just gone into sixth. As Montana now through the final corner, he is going to get Paul here. 17.5. What is the timings like in behind? Rafa is 6/10 up through the middle sector, the German. How is he looking? Can he go second? Can he go ahead of Killer Blue? Game Boy has gone third on a set of softs. He's the only one on a set of softs, I think, as well. Got Cantera just coming across the line. He invalidates and doesn't set a lap time. Rafa is coming across the line now. Marquez is out the session. That's him on the left-hand side. Rafa steals pole off Montana by 2/10 of a second. The German driver goes to the top of the standings. The only one to watch, really, I think, is June, but he's not improving. ILRT Sterling goes into fourth with an 18 flat. Plenty of improvements. Look at how tight it is as well. From third, Chapelletti goes fourth. It's ever-changing. Luigi now goes into third. June now across the line. He doesn't improve, I don't think. I think he might have invalidated that lap. In fact, he goes 12th for June. That was so fast, I couldn't even keep up, honestly. Qualifying has ended though in Spain, and here is your running order as follows. Rafa on top with a 2/10 of a second gap over Montana in qualifying, with Luigi in third. Look how tight it is though between first to 12th, separated by under a second. Luigi in third, Killer Blue in fourth, Chapelelli in fifth, Sterling in sixth, Game Boys in seventh. Interesting to note, he's the only one out of the top 10 on a set of soft compound of tyres. Rick in 8th, Bullet Boy in 9th, Xjarry in 10th, Larkin in 11th, with Doom only a 1,000th off him in the end. On a set of hard compound of tyres, of course, they do choose their own compound of tyres. Maledictus, Gary Donegan, V5 HRL, YHYY, Cantera, and Marquez is not setting a time. So it'll be interesting to see Cantera coming from the back once again, like he did in China, I do believe, 2 weeks ago, scoring a very good result there. I think he finished either 5th or 6th back then. And of course, we'll be interesting to see how that goes on. In the meantime, let's just have a look. The stream is so laggy for you. That might be down to connection, I think. I've got everything turned off. I've got my iPad now turned on. Yeah, I don't know what is occurring. In the meantime, League of Europe Division 3 as it stands. it is Adrillo who leads the way. White in second and EDUK in third. Why would you want to tune in that when you've got me to come through here in qualifying for Division 1 and now into the race, of course, for Division 1 here in Spain. Do put down in the comment section, by the way, the top 3 predictions that you might have. I'll be reading them out probably later on in the stream. As now we get ready for the formation lap, and that is a sight to behold. 2 Williams on the front row. You'll never see that in real life F1, but Rafa has taken pole position here over Montana. So as I've said already, the top 10 qualifying on the set of compound of tyres, and they're on the same sort of compound that they did qualify on. In the meantime, looking down further through the field, it looks like we've got a 6-2 split on the compound of tyres as everyone now floods through turns 3 and coming through the first sector on the formation lap. 33 laps holding the drivers. Larkin, Doom, V5HRL, YHYY, Cantera and Marquez's all on a set of hard compound of tyres. Maledictus and Gary Donegan, interestingly, possibly could aim for one stop on a set of mediums. The softs for Game Boys, certainly down in 7th. He's the only one of the whole grid to be on a set of soft compound of tyres. And again, Rafa out on top, Montana second, Waluigi in third. How is that going to pan out off the start? I think Waluigi could have the pace to begin off with, but then drop off and then possibly holding up a bit of a train in behind with Killer Blue, Chapelelli, Sterling in behind that. Game Boys could try and flood his way through early on and try and gain a couple of positions on the first couple of laps. But for me, my top 3, I have got to go for Rafa for the win. I think Rafa is going to win this in Germany. The German driver in Spain, I should say. For second, I'm going to go Montana. And for third, I'm going to go a bit interesting. I'm going to go June for third from 12th place on the grid. Watch out for him off the start. And watch out for him in terms of the tactics as well. Him and his teammate Cantera might be the ones to watch here tonight. Marquez as well from the back, an interesting one to note, as well as everyone now floods back into their grid positions. We are about to go green for racing here in League of Europe Division 1, round 6 here in Spain. I do apologise if my voice does go a little bit wayward during the stream. I have got a sore throat, so I'm commentating with a bit of a pain in my throat at the minute, but here we go. It is. We are about to get lights out very soon. There we go. Lights out very soon. Round 6 of the championship. And it is. Lights out and away we go. Very slow start. Good reaction times there for Waluigi in behind. He could have the run on both Williams. As Montana cuts across. Oh, Montana just cutting across a little bit too much there. We've got 3 wide in the background, it looks like. Chapelelli, Sterling, Killer Blue. Xjarry in the background. It is all clean through turn 1. Cantera and YHYY take their time. Marquez is up into P14 early on, right from the start. But it's Rafa who's got the break. Montana second as they flood through the first sector. We've got a little bit of action going on in behind. Larkin trying to get past Xjarry round the outside of turn 4. Oh, and there's a mass pile-up. There is a huge pile-up. I'm not sure what the cause is there. Killer Blue rejoins dangerously out on track. There's a yellow flag in sector 2 with V5HRL that's been involved. Maledictus has been involved in that. Killer Blue has been involved in that. And too rightly, a VSC has been deployed. So that brings a little bit of a neutralisation period to this race. Dramatic opening here in Spain. And I'm not sure who or what was the cause. There was a lot of close-knit racing within a short space of time there. It will be interesting to see drivers' POVs, of course, after this race. But as we come through Sector 2, we get back to green racing. VSC has ended. Marquez has gained on Xjarry out of that. Cantera and Doom just moved past each other as well further down the field. But it is keeping them close. 5/10 of a second away. Waluigi in third. Chat's getting early on. Gary Donegan up 6. Cantera up 6 and Marquez is up 5. Larkin up 4 as well. With Ricken with 3 positions gained. But at the end of lap 1, it is the German Rafa who leads the way. Bullet Boy is into the pits. Doom is into the pits. Going to see quite a flood of drivers coming into the pits. Maledictus is also in as well. Killer Blue, after a bit of a dangerous rejoin, is still continuing round. I'm very surprised. I thought he had damage on that car, to be honest. It might have been Xjarry, the other Mercedes, that did have damage. There's nothing really close enough out on track for any sort of battle, but we'll keep on board with the focus for the lead at the minute between Rafa and Montana. Waluigi as I said earlier on in the formation lap, he's just starting to lose the time a little bit now to Montana. In the meantime, further down the field, Cantera looks like he's getting onto the back end now of LRT Sterling, who's dropped 3 positions off the start. The American driver, of course, formerly known as Sterling West. Cantera just makes a bit of a mistake there this home track. Very rare mistake. Marquez is now over the back of him. The Irishman trying to hunt him down to come through the end of the middle sector. Marquez is not close enough for any sort of move. He's only 5/10ths off though. It is Rafa who leads though. Montana second, Malvigi in third. And those gaps just begin to pull out a little bit. Rafa now a second clear of Montana. Malvigi back in third. And he is holding off the attentions now of Schiaparelli, the German. He was up early on into 4th place. Position gain, good qualifying from him. He's 6/10ths off. Now, DRS enabled this lap. That means overtakes will be aplenty. And thank goodness for that, because second lap, not as energetic or not as trashy as the first. Let's just say that. But Rafa's out in front. Montana second, Malvigi third, Schiaparelli fourth. Cantera is through on LRT Sterling. That is a bold move down the inside of turn 3 there. So Cantera is through on Sterling West. I'm not sure if Sterling actually has got any front wing damage that I can see. No end plates missing, so I think just pure pace. And LRT Sterling, I should say, is now under pressure from Marquez's in behind. A very good bold move. We'll go back to that in just the meantime, as Schiaparelli now is all over the back of Luigi. We'll cut back to the Marquez's battle now. Looking very close. I think Marquez could go for an inside move here. Down the inside at turn 10. And that is a very bold move there from the Irishman. Can he get the job done up into turn 11? Yes, he can. And the Irishman is through. Marquez's for VSR is up to 10th place, and he can now chase down Cantera, who's just getting away from him a bit slightly out ahead. They both gain 8 positions as well, Cantera and Marquez is early on. Doom is on the back of Bullet Boy further down the field. They've recently just came into the pits, of course. Schiaparelli, though, is looking close to Waluigi going into turn 1. Not close enough. Waluigi just tries to hang it. Schiaparelli just missing the apex there at turn 2. Just sets him up for a bad run through turn 3. Waluigi just pulls away a little bit. Pulls away now by about 0.2 of a second through that sector. Further down the field, though, Killer Blue is right on the back of YHYY. That was 0.3 of a second the last time I did tune into that. YHYY, 1.7 seconds off LRT Sterling, who now struggles. Could be coming back to these guys as well soon with YHYY. In terms of the tyres, of course, Game Boy's in 6th on a set of soft compounder tyres, and we've seen Doom go past on Bullet Boy, and he's up to P15, of course. Trying to go a bit of an undercut 2-stop strategy. But there's Rafa who leads. Montana second, Waluigi third, Schiaparelli in 4th as we approach the end of lap 4 here in Spain. And if you're just tuning in to Division 1, I'm James Head 14, your Division 1 commentator, and not much to report except from a big pile-up at turn on lap 1, I should say. So, be interesting to see how the stewards deal with that one. In the meantime, Schiaparelli looking very closely to the back of Waluigi. You can already tell the speed difference. There is clear speed difference, 10 mile an hour speed difference, and Schiaparelli breezes past Waluigi for third. He'll try him under the brakes, but it's not good enough. Schiaparelli already through, and the German is up to 3rd place and having an impressive battle. In the meantime, speaking of battles, Gary Donegan all over the back of Larkin, I should say. Cantera in the background just beginning to gain as well, as Marquez tries to flood in on this as well. Yellow flag in sector 1, Killer Blue is out, and I think that was just in behind a turn 2. Let's have a look. Yeah, left hand side, pretty much where Vettel went off in pre-season, if you remember back all that time ago, a couple of months ago. So he's out of the race, Killer Blue out of the race. Unfortunately, he was driving well. He was in just within the points as he leaves the session in rage more than anything else, and a bit of anger. And the safety car has been deployed. Safety car has been deployed, so we've had a VSC already. Now we have a safety car, and that is purely because Killer Blue left the session. If that occurred and he didn't leave the session, then it would be different. So that now poses the threat. Who is going to be pitting in? V5HRL speeds under the safety car and picked up a drive-through penalty. I think we had Maledictus as well picking up a 5-second stop goal. What's the strategy to know? Rafa, Montana not coming in. Ciappellelli not coming in, having a little bit of a game here. Well, Luigi's not coming in either. Rick not coming in. Game Boys is though, I'm not surprised in that. He's on a soft compound of tyres. He can try and maximise now effect towards the end here. Interestingly, ILRT Sterling is in behind as well. Crashes himself nearly into the pit lane there. Losing an end plate or two. B5 HRL also coming into the pits. Doom, Bullet Boy, Xjarry, I don't think they'll come into the pits, but remains to be seen. Let's look on board. Doom, I think, is coming in. Yeah, Doom's going to come in. I'm not surprised. Bullet Boy comes in as well. They may as well pick up the fresh set of tyres. Xjarry, interestingly, doesn't, and he's going to be out behind ILRT Sterling, I think, here, who's just on the exit into turn 1. As he now comes out in pits. Well, there we go. Xjarry now coming out in pits. B5 HRL, Bullet Boy, Doom, Maledictus. Now under the safety car period. I'm just going to go off the mic for a minute or two as ILRT Rapper just overdoes his tyres a little bit. I'm going to get a drink. I'll be back in a minute. And we should have the safety car out for another lap out on track. So I'll be back in about a minute. Apologies about my slight break in the action there, just went to get a drink. I'm now back and we should be reaching the end of the safety car period here in Spain. As Rafa is out in front, Montana second, Ciappellelli in third. Interesting to note, nobody has came into the pits, I don't think, after the pit stop, so everyone has done as they are, and I don't think we are we going to get the safety car in this lap, I wonder? Let's have a look. Maledictus is not on the back of this, so yeah. Might have the safety car out for another lap here. Oh, but it is Rafa who leads. Montana second, Ciappellelli in third, Luigi in fourth. If you're just tuning in, this is Division 1 League of Europe tonight in Spain, round 6 of the championship. And Montana having again a little bit of a go nearly into the pit lane. Nobody coming in that I can see of, just flicking through the field. Maledictus not onto the back, so we've got the safety car out for another lap at least, which gives me time to have a look through the comment section, and I'm not sure if we have had any more comments coming through. I think it'll be a good time to give you an update actually on what is happening in Division 3 tonight as well. Let me just tune in to our stream first of all. Probably me was buffering for about 2 minutes. Yeah, it might just be your connection, to be honest. If you've got it on in the background, turn it off. Turn it off. You don't want me coming at you through the through your iPad or your tablet or whatever it is. Adrenaline still leading the way. Wouter second, EduK in third. Very interesting battle going on between either Bryn Mike and Heated LH at the minute in Division 3, and that is for 6th place out on track in Spain in Division 3. don't tune out for that, tune in for us. Division 1, top tier action here in Spain. As we approach 1/3 distance with Rafa out in front, Montana second, Schiaparelli in third. Now, I do apologise if I am struggling a little bit with commentary here tonight. I did take a rest last night from a commentary that I was supposed to do, and I took a rest for that. From that, as we now get the safety car coming in this lap, so we are about to get going. And Rafa not hanging about here. He's got to wait until the safety car line. Of course, you don't have to wait until the safety car line. You have to wait until the safety car physically comes into the pit lane, and then manage it that way. So what's Rafa going to do? He's going to try and he's going to back them up at the top of the hill here, but they are going at quite a pace under the safety car restart here. 70 mile an hour from the leader. Slowly backing everyone up. Keeping a nice distance actually at the safety car, who now comes in, and Rafa will begin to floor it. But he shouldn't floor it too much, and he's floored it too much at the start. I don't believe it. He's nearly spun. He's going to have to defend off his teammate here. We're back underway here in Spain, and it is now the two Williamses going side by side. It's Rafa and Montana. This is what we want to see. Schiaparelli, Luigi in the background as well. Montana dabs it down the inside of turn 1. He gets it. He gets it. Montana is through, and he's up to P1. Rafa just overshooting the start slightly. Luigi is up the inside of Schiaparelli in the meantime at turn 3. Fantastic restart in behind. Larkin right on the back of Rick as well. Schiaparelli trying to go all the way around the outside of turn 4. Surely not from the German, trying to get around the outside of Luigi. He just loses them slightly on the curb. Larkin and Rick in behind. Schiaparelli now dives it down the inside of Luigi. Rick in behind and Larkin. Gary Donegan's defending off Cantera, who gets past as well. Schiaparelli is up to 3rd place. Fantastic driving. And Rick is up to 5th as well. Absolutely phenomenal start. Schiaparelli loses it out of into the 2nd sector. And he's now all over the back of, Rick is now all over the back of him. As Marquez is through and Gary Donegan going around the outside into turn 10. What a restart that is. Fantastic restart. Montana has got the lead. Rafa second. Position changes galore. What a fantastic opening and a fantastic restart here in Division 1. And that is what the doctor ordered. As we are now on to lap 10 out of 33, it's Montana who leads. Rafa in second, Luigi in third, Schiaparelli in fourth, Rick in fifth, Larkin in sixth, Cantera in seventh. As a file down in single file down the straight. Don't think we're going to see any sort of moves. Looks like Luigi could be holding up again a little bit of a train here. With Schiaparelli, Rick, Larkin, Cantera all very close quarters to him. In the background of shot, we've just seen a move. Bullet Boy down the inside of V5 HRL, so he's down to P14. Of course, on more durable tyres, the hard compound of tyres, the white wall, they can last a bit longer into the race. So he's got past V5 HRL, and that's for P14 out on track, and Doom is just behind this as well. The Renault driver, the Spaniard, the homeboy, trying to go and lunge it down the inside. It looks like he's got the pace. Whether he can get close enough to V5 HRL, in the meantime, remains to be seen. Back on board with the lead, though, as Rafa's beginning to try and eye up Montana. DRS will be enabled next lap around, of course. 3 laps for the DRS to be enabled round here. Under a safety car restart as well. Montana leads, Rafa in second, Luigi in third, Schiaparelli fourth, Rick in fifth, Larkin in sixth. Rick now just beginning to lose a little bit of touch to Schiaparelli, who begins to get away, and very sideways in fact there, Schiaparelli out of turn 12 again. That exit of turn 12 not being prioritised by the German, and now Rick is all over the back as Montana's into the pits. Montana is into the pits from the lead of the race. The DRS is enabled. We could have 3 wide down the straight here. We've got Gary Donegan and YHYY finding out. I think YHYY has just got to move done. Still no DRS enabled. It's old school F1 this. They've got to get it done with slipstream and pure braking on the braking points. And down the inside was Larkin on Rick. Not quite. And Rick holds on to fourth. No changes, but look who's hunting in the background. Marquez from the back of the field is already into 7th place. And he's now all over the back of the Spaniard. One of the homeboys, Cantera, for Renault here. Gary Donegan has just hauled off Sterling and YHYY in the meantime as well. But we just take a little breather there. Rafa, with 1/3 distance here in Spain. It is Rafa who now leads the way with Montana coming into the pits. He's out in clear out, just ahead of V5 HRL, who has dropped off a loss. He must have been the big loser out of that. Cantera getting close to Larkin. Not close enough. Everyone flitting through nicely. Xjerry right in the back of Game Boys. Of course, Game Boys did start on the soft compound of tyres. Sitting in 11th place at the minute. Xjerry still yet to really pit. He came in after that lap 1 incident, which of course will be investigated. Rafa responds to Montana. Well, Weegee responds to Montana as well. Schiaparelli not coming in. We've got a lot of drivers now coming into the pits. Cantera in the meantime is all over the back of Larkin. This is for P2 out on track. We could have 3 wide as well. Look at the closing speed of Marquez is in behind. And surely not. We're going to get 3 wide as Marquez is going to go down the inside here. Not quite. Fair play. And Larkin loses it on the inside. Good recovery there by Larkin, and he rejoins in P4. But Marquez's fair play for him to try and get a double move down the inside at turn 1. That would have been quite something if he pulled it off. But now he hunts on the back of Cantera, and this is for P2 out on track. But now Schiaparelli inheriting the lead. Rafa is out ahead of Montana further down the field, 0.5 of a second separating the two Williamses. That is for the net battle for the lead at the minute. So keep an eye on them. We'll keep an eye on the action further up the field in the meantime. Schiaparelli leads the way on Cantera. Marquez is in 3rd, just losing a little bit of the back end there. Sterling was looking close to Gary Donegan. Somebody that is looking close to Xjerry into the braking zone. Just a little bit of tap on the back end there from Bullet Boy, just overdoing it slightly. Maledictus and Doom beginning to chase him down in the meantime as well. Could see a lot of action here on the straight. If all of these guys don't decide to pit, we're going to see a lot of action, and that's exactly what we're going to be seeing, because Cantera has now been pressed by Marquez's in this for 2nd place, and you can already see where this is going to go. Marquez's is already past here down the straight. Should be easy down into turn 1. He'll take a defensive line. He moves in front of Cantera. He gets the move done. He's up to P2. Gary Donegan ran the outside of Larkin into P4. Oh my god, if he can pull this off. Larkin holds it on somehow. Larkin is defending that position well. Brilliant racing between both of them. ILRT Sterling on the back, and the train begins to develop further. With now Doom all over the back of Bullet Boy, right at the back of that little train that has developed. Well, call it a little train, it's actually an 8-car train from Larkin all the way back to Doom. So that's P4 to P11, that little train. Almost looking like a Northern Rail with 2 carriages at the minute. But there you go. Schiaparelli 3.2 seconds ahead as Marquez is in the meantime. Cantera in 3rd after being overtaken down the straight. It is looking very close here. Sterling trying to get Gary Donegan. Doom in the meantime is getting close to Bullet Boy. Not going to go for a move down the inside though. And no moves made by anyone there really. A lot of people on the back of each other, not many overtakes, and can't really prioritise and overtake until you get onto the straight really, and down the back straight as well between turns 9 and 10. Schiaparelli is into the pits. Marquez and Cantera continue on for another lap. Cantera looking quite close as Doom has picked up a 3-second time penalty in that final chicane. Xjerry is into the pits as well, just in behind. That frees up some of the battling. And that does free up some of the battling. I don't think we're going to see anything apart from Doom on the back of Bullet Boy. In the meantime, not quite. Gary Donegan getting a little bit closer to Larkin. 3-second time penalty for multiple warnings there. That was for Bullet Boy, I do believe, who picked up that. We'll check on board with the penalties as soon as we get a break in the action, but a lot of train action going on here really. Larkin leading Gary Donegan, leading Sterling, leading YHYY, Game Boys, Bullet Boy and Doom. Still 7-way battle as Cantera has picked up a 3-second time penalty. That was just through turn 8, which you just saw there on the exit. Gary Donegan was looking like he was going wide and running very wide there with Sterling. Prioritising a little bit of the runoff. Could be vulnerable to YHYY in the meantime. Doom again on the back of Bullet Boy just in behind. Not quite close enough. So I begin to struggle once again. We are approaching halfway here in Spain. Marquez is in the lead from Cantera 2nd, Larkin in 3rd, Gary Donegan in 4th. There's been no changes really to the order. Doom is all up the back of Bullet Boy. Surely it's a matter of time where he's going to get that overtake done. In the meantime, YHYY on 13 lap all cards is now beginning to get on the back of Sterling West. And has Sterling West got a problem with his DRS? No, he hasn't. He's got it open. In the meantime, Gary Donegan, round 2 between him and Larkin. He goes down on the inside line this time at turn 2. And again, Larkin just prioritising the traction around the outside. Doom has made that move sick there down the inside of turn 1 on Bullet Boy. And he is up to P8. So the Spaniard is through and he's up to P8. Bullet Boy back down into P9. YHYY, as I say, right in the back of ILRT Sterling. Of course, the ILRT team hopefully watching on and seeing their driver represented here, as most teams are here in League of Europe. We've got VSR represented, we've got League of Europe respectively represented with Gary Donegan, ILRT, we've got KVR as well, NSX, VRT. The list goes on and on. Honestly, ILRT Sterling though on the back. He goes down the inside of Gary Donegan. It's a bit of a half-hearted move really. Never really was going to get that move done. In behind though, Juma's got the move done on Game Boys. Fighting through, and Game Boys tries to push him off the camber of the corner slightly there, and Game Boys now just begin to struggle. Oh, and Bullet Boy decides to go down the inside. Very close to contact there. Again, a bit of a half-hearted move. But good to see he knew his limits. Now Gary Donegan frees up a bit of a pack as ILRT Sterling now will try and pull away from YHYY. Larkin now about a second ahead of this guy. Ahead of ILRT Sterling. YHYY trying to go down the inside. Bullet Boy in the meantime on Game Boys trying to go around the outside of turn 2. Brilliant move. That is brilliant from Bullet Boy, and he is through and he is up to P7 as Game Boys must have damage. And he does. Left side end plate is missing for Game Boys. So left side end plate missing for Game Boys. In the meantime, give you an update on the net battle for the lead. It is Rafa who's out in front, for Montana in second, Chapelelli in third, and all of that. That is a different race entirety for the race win going on. This really is shaping up to be a very nice battle indeed between Larkin, ILRT Sterling, YHYY, and Doom. It looks like Doom possibly could be the first to try and get a move done here. The Spaniard late on the brakes. YHYY very late on the brakes there, the Finn. Beyond 80 through halfway though. As Marquez's leads by about a second. He's pulled away from Cantero over the course of the last 3 laps or so after that overtake down the straight. Cantero in second, as I say. He's into the pits though. He's into the pits. So Cantero is in. This will be for a set of medium compound of tyres, I would think, to the end of the race. So the Spaniard at his home race is into the pits, and that is the yellow wall set of tyres. That is a medium combine of tyres there for Cantera. In the meantime, YHYY under pressure from Doom, and Doom trying to get him here. Marquez is with a 6-second lead now after that pit stop. Cantera is going to come out just beyond Waluigi, I think, so possibly net P5 he's looking at the minute. Cantera, he's on a set of mediums, so he will be starting to come through the field. He will have the tyre pace as well over the likes of Montana, Rafa. Maledictus has been overtaken by Rafa in the meantime as well. That's for P8 out on track. Further down the field, Xjarry's trying to have a battle with Gary Donegan, I think, further down the field. But in the meantime, we'll focus on this battle for third. Well, battle for second, really. 5 cars lining up. It's Larkin, ILRT Sterling, YHYY, Doom and Bullet Boy. Very close to try and get moves done, but never close enough for moves. Speaking of close enough for moves, ILRT, Rafa's round! Rafa is round. I think he was trying to get past Game Boys. I'm not sure if the door was shut there. And now that has changed the complexion of the race completely. Game Boys, I think, I'm not sure if he turned into him possibly, or if Rafa was just trying to lunge it down the inside. Difficult to read. We came late on board with that, so we can't really say. As Maledictus now gets in the way of Rafa as well. It's costly for Rafa, the German. He wants to try and get past. He's going to be absolutely fuming in that helmet, but he has to try and keep his cool. And Rafa now to try and close in on Montana for the gap, for the lead. Or for the net battle for the lead. It's still only 9 tenths. He's really not lost that much at all. And he now begins to gain. He's lost about 2 seconds overall, but it's not overly much. It's not the end of the world. That's what we've got to think. It's not the end of the world for these two. And we should see now a very interesting battle getting going as Gary Donegan and Xjarry go side by side. And Gary Donegan is now through on Xjarry. And it's for P16. But I'll tell you what, Xjarry is trying to have a go here around the outside. Good room, and Xjarry goes right around the outside at turn 4. Surely not. Surely not around the outside. He's now on the inside on. He's got it done. Xjarry is through. Fantastic move by Xjarry around the outside into turn 4. Brave stuff, and he is through. In the meantime, Montana goes around the outside of Game Boys. Now Rafa gets held up with this as well. It's going to be a bit costly once again for Rafa. He needs to try and get past the other half as much as possible. Marquez, in the meantime, is into the pits. Really helping him, I think, now, actually, Marquez. He's going to come into this race very late on. Probably will get around, like I said, Waluigi Rick, I think, coming out the pit. Quite a lot of action coming into the pit. Larkin, YHYY. Now Rafa on the straight. Should get past Game Boy, surely. Just a matter of time. Puts the hammer down with the DRS open. Cantera sets the new fastest lap of the race. Defend the inside line. He knows it's clear. And Rafa is through and he's up to P4. Game Boy's trying to have a go at him. Half out to go. But never going to be enough as now Rafa. Has he got the pace over Montana? This is going to be interesting. This is going to be race for the win. In the meantime, Schiaparelli is defending net P3 at the minute from Cantera and Marquez. Of course, there's the battle for 7th, 8th and 9th out on track. The two Germans, the Spaniard, the German and the Irishman all going at it here. As Cantera does lead the way on this battle, or he's leading the battle to try and get VRT Schiaparelli ahead. June in the meantime very close to ILRT Sterling, not quite close enough for a move. Marquez is looking nice through there, everyone looking nice. Bullet Boy has came out the pit, he's came up behind X-Jarry. Very interesting battle developing further down the field, and in fact Bullet Boy has gone past X-Jarry. That's down the inside at turn 10. Beautiful move. Bullet Boy's through, he's up to P15. Very nice stuff indeed. Game Boys is into the pits. Now Dictus will have to go another lap then. Imagining they'll be into a pit together. However, Rafa closing down Montana. This is for the net battle for the lead. Rafa tries to go up the inside. Montana holding it firm. And he holds it too firm. And he is up the inside. Rafa's up the inside at turn 3. He turns it from slightly. Montana's giving him no space at all. There's a yellow flag in sector 1. Schiaparelli's round, I think, in sector 1. But now, both Williams' fight. It's Montana and Rafa. And this is the net battle for the lead. LRT Sterling and Doom. These two battling is going to let Cantera get into this. He has got to get past Maledictus, and Rafa is surely not going to go around the outside here into turn 7. He thinks about it, he doesn't commit for it. But my God, we promised a good race. Rafa, he is probably challenging all of that anger in his helmet to try and get past his teammate now. He wants this win. He deservedly wants this win. But he has no way through there. Marquez is on the back of Cantera in the meantime. This is for, as I say, net P3. Cantera just looking a bit shaky out of the section there. At turn 11 and 12. Net P13. Lap 21 out of 33. Doom is right on the back of ILRT Sterling. Never getting close enough though. Not using up any ERS I should say. Rafa, round 2. Is he close enough again? Little bit of lag. Rafa's down the inside now. The German on the Swiss. The Swiss turns into him again. Ooh, this is going to have to be looked towards the stewards, I think. I've got to be honest. This is just getting a little bit too aggressive for my liking, I've got to say. Cantera, right on the back of Maledictus. He was close enough there down into turn 2, but never going to get a move done there. As you can tell, I'm beginning to lose my voice as a result of this race. Sterling though leads, Doom in second, and Doom looking close enough now for a move. You've got to be within about 0.2 per second there. In the meantime, Cantera, the other Spaniard, all over the back. Marquez's, they flood through shot. Maledictus, Cantera and Marquez's. Cantera looking for a way through here on Maledictus. Is he going to try and dive it down the inside? Marquez's thinking to try and dive it down the inside there on Cantera. Not quite close enough. We're going to go for round 3, I think, between Montana and Rafa in a little while. We'll focus on the battle for net P3 at the minute. Cantera, Marquez's and Maledictus holding these guys up, in fact, now. So, they come onto the straight once again. Lap 22 out of 33. Maledictus bails into the pit lane. Rafa's not going to be close enough, I don't think, for a move here on Montana. He's getting closer. Getting closer. Not close enough this time. And it says it is. And now Marquez is down the inside. He uses that lip braking. But what a move that is. That is absolutely fantastic. So late on the brakes. Cantera early on the brakes, you could argue. But there was no stopping Marquez's on the brakes there. He's pulled away as well. Fresher set of tyres, using that to great effect. And now Marquez's is up for an net P3. And with fresher tyres, who knows, he could actually win this. This could be quite something from the back of the field. Remember the position gains. 13 positions gained for Marquez. He's going to come right from the back to try and win this. Cantera has gained 11 positions respectively. Doom has gained 10 and is now all of the back of ILRT Sterling. He just loses the back end slightly. Doom trying to go deeper into the race, possibly for set of softs. Could come in this lap actually. Just looking at the strategy, he could look to go 11 laps on softs, which I think could work. I think that could work, to be honest. No, he's not going to come into the pits this lap. Possibly another lap or two. In the background of Shotland, Montana. Being closed down by his teammate again. Rafa looking a little bit closer this time. I don't think he's going to be close enough though. Closing them in. Marquez's passes up the race. Rafa not committing it. Cantera's trying to get on the back of Marquez's as well. Not quite. We'll just settle down now into a few separate battles out on track. Rick and Luigi having a bit of a battle further down the field. That's for P5 at the minute. YHYY and Larkin in the meantime. All guns out, wheels banging everywhere, and YHYY is just defending that position nicely in the Toro Rosso. I think remains ahead of Larkin there. I'm not sure if I could be totally mistaken. In the meantime, I'll check the coming through as we're right on board with Rafa, who is right on the back of Montana. He deserves to win this race, to be honest, does Rafa. He deserves to win this, but then again, very late on the brakes, nearly into the back end of Montana there. Doesn't want to overshoot it too much. Hopefully everyone enjoying the action so far. Jake all enjoying the action, saying howdy howdy and saying oh my god. Somebody has left a dislike on the stream, how dare you. That just takes me on a little bit further to deliver a better commentary for you guys. ILRT Sterling though in the meantime, leading the way, Doom in second, and is Doom now going to get through an ILRT Sterling? He's going to have to go around the outside here at turn 1. ILRT Sterling very late on the brakes, holds it, and holds it well. Good respect shown. Rafa is now through on Montana for the lead of the race. Is he? Up to P3, P4 this is for, and Montana on the inside curve gets caught. Yellow flag sector 2, Schiaparelli is at the race, and Rafa is through on Montana. So, changing scenarios here. As Montana dives down the inside of Rafa, oh my god. It's just getting a little bit too tense now between the two Williams. Rafa getting a little bit slow out of turn 4. Now through turn 5 they go. And Rafa looking good at the minute. He hangs on somehow. Montana trying to dice, trying to get away through. It's just going to cost him slightly. Rafa with the lap pressure tyres. And he begins to just pull away slightly. 4.5 tenths. Montana not going to be eyeing up a move here. Doom's close enough to Sterling. Not quite close enough to the overtake though. But it's Sterling who leads the way. Doom in second, Rafa in third, Montana in fourth with 10 laps to go, including this one. It's Sterling who leads. Doom in second. Schiaparelli leads the session, understandably so. Frustrating for him. But ILRT Sterling now defending off Doom, and Doom, this is looking a lot closer this time. The Spaniard, the home fans are going to be sent in for an uproar, I think now. Doom round the outside on ILRT Sterling, gets the move done. Brilliant stuff by the Spaniard, and he is through. Rafa holds on to the position for Montana as well. Remember, that is the net battle for the lead. In third and fourth at this moment in time, Marquez and Cantera begin to hunt them down, while Luigi on the back of Rick going into turn 1, not quite close enough. Larkin and YHYY, round 3, battle developed between these two. But the story of lap 25 is Doom is now ahead of ILRT Sterling out on track, but they might still have to come into the pits with 9 laps to go, including this one here in League of Europe Division 1. And hopefully you are all enjoying the commentary here tonight. I do apologise for being a bit rusky and coughing and spluttering. I'm not well at all. I'm doing this out of my own regard, I think, and my own health, to come and commentate here, guys. But what a thrilling race to commentate on. This has been absolutely fantastic race, and apart from lap 1 where we had the contact going through turn 4, it's been absolutely remarkable stuff, and every driver here deserves credit once again. Doom now begins to pull away from ILRT Sterling, just holding a bit back on the tyres, possibly Sterling. Maybe an indicator to try and go to the end of the race. Now, here we go, once again. Montana, Rafa, Montana closing in. Rafa will defend that inside line though. He's going to have to be late on the brakes. Montana though ran the outside. Brilliant move by the Swiss man on his teammate. And he is through. And he's up to P3 with a remarkable move. Ran the outside with the speed. Telling the difference there. Montana is through and he's up to P3. And now they'll begin to hunt down. But look, in behind the camera shot, Marquez's is hunting them down, the Irishman. Smelling fresh blood here with Montana and Rafa just ahead. Cantera in fourth. And I've got to say, Cantera doing a great job for the Renault team. What has been a very difficult day with the death of Antoine Hubert, who was assigned to the Renault Driver Academy. It is such a good result to see Cantera up there in fourth place. Not only on his own accord, because he's been up there for quite a while, and I've said he's been the one to watch. Up 11 positions, he's doing them proud for Renault. Can the Spaniard get a win at this home track, more importantly? But in the meantime, we are on to lap 26 out of 33. Now lap 27, RLT Sterling goes for another lap. Doom is into the pits, however. He's now going to be out of it. Now, it's going to be round 4 between Montana and Rafa. We can't get 12 round in, sadly. Rafa now down the inside of Montana, down into turn 1. Little bit of banging wheels. They're leading it all out on the track. Look at Marquez is in behind, a little bit of lag. As Montana hangs on somehow. Montana hangs on. I'm not sure if that lag was being picked up on their end or on my end. I do apologise if it was my end, but Montana holds on. But I've got to say, you've got to fancy Marquez's now. On a set of medium compound of tyres, they're probably going to be wearing it around the same rate in a couple of laps. This is really going to be peak performance now for these mediums. And Marquez has got the pace over these two. He's got the tyres. Can he do the impossible and come from the back? Not setting the time in qualifying and winning this race. So it'll be one driver of the season performance if he wins this. It'll be fantastic to see if he can do this. Lap 27 out of 33. We'll come down again. Doom is out the pits. He's out just behind Larkin, in fact. So Doom just out in behind Larkin. Rick and Waluigi will begin to struggle on the tyres. That could lead Doom in for a possible top 5. Watch out for the penalties as well. I'll try and give you the penalties update in just a little bit. It's been very hectic. Sterling might be trying to go to the end here on a 1-stop. This is an impossible strategy, I think, for him to do. In the meantime, Rafa getting closer to Montana. Not close enough though, as we filter through turn 1 again with 6 laps to go. We'll get close with Doom and Larkin, I think. Doom is getting very close to Larkin. It's going to be game over, I think, for Larkin here. Doom is going to easily fly past him. It's YHYY slowing down in front. Could have tried a 2 for 1 that. YHYY just defends up Doom slightly, and Marquez, as he's looking for a way through here. The Irishman putting it all on the line. The Swiss man, the German, and the Irishman all fighting it out here in League of Europe. But ILRT Sterling, these three battle, and he could try and keep those ties till the end. You never know, it could be the impossible for him. There is so much line on this right now at this moment in time. We'll go back on board with Doom though in the meantime. P9 out on track. He's looking for an overtaking manoeuvre on YHYY. Could see it down the inside here into turn 10. Not quite. He now filters through into turn 11. Top of the hill. Ice point on the track. Dictus has picked up a 3-second time penalty. Sterling's getting a little bit of time actually on these guys. Rafa looking close to Montana. Let's watch this. Rafa now getting close. The German on the Swiss man down the inside. Rafa. Montana's got to give him room. He does. Rafa off the camera of the corner though, misses out and could let Marquez through here as well. The Irishman trying to get past. Doom in the background has just gone over, just past YHYY down the straight. Marquez lunges for a move down the inside, not quite close enough. Not a bit of a half commitment. He's still pretty much quarters on to the back end, the rear end of his car. As Marquez will try and switch back onto the inside through turn 5. However, it's not going to be enough. Next overtaking opportunity will probably be down into turn 10, which is of course braking at the end of sector 2. What a race though. This is turning out to be an absolute thriller. Sterling leads the way. Rafa's looking slow. Rafa's looking very slow. I'm not sure what happened there. I'm not sure if he made a mistake. I think he must have. Rafa's made a mistake and Marquez is through. So Marquez is through, or is that a tactical ploy for Rafa to get the DRS? Read into that situation carefully. I didn't see any resemblance of a mistake from him from my end. I might need my eyes testing that as a result. But Rafa has let through Marquez's, or has made a mistake. 4 laps to go. ILRT Sterling, can he go to the end of the race on those tyres and pick up a one remarkable victory? It's going to look a bit touch and go for him now. June past the start of the race. Luigi Rick's still fighting out. But Montana now, he's got rid of his teammate. With Rafa now in behind Marquez's, but now he's got to focus on the Irishman. The Irishman will be coming in behind him and trying to close up on the side of mediums. These tyres will now start to be wearing around the same sort of tyre wear levels at the minute. But ILRT Sterling, 1.8 seconds. There he is. He's just ahead of these guys. He is just ahead of these guys. Again, I'll use a bit of a cycling analogy with this. It is like the breakaway getting chased down by the peloton. It is quite literally like that. With 3.5 laps to go if you're being picky, Sterling leads the way. ILRT team are probably absolutely gunning for it. If they're watching here, if anybody from the ILRT team is watching here, will on Sterling, because he could actually win this. He could actually win this. These three get battling in behind heavily. Montana now come under pressure from Marquez's and lose out with the DRS. And there's the time beginning to ebb away. Sterling down the straight gains the time. Marquez's catching, not close enough though. The Irishman. I think it's going to have to be a one move and go for it sort of scenario. Juma is through on Waluigi though in the meantime. The Juma is through on Waluigi, he's up to P7. Rick is now his next focus. The Spaniard making eye-catching progress through the field. Cantera's the one that's really missing out on this battle for the win here. Hasn't got the tyre length to go as far into the race as what we thought he might have a couple of laps ago. But ILRT Sterling, he's doing, and to put a pun out there, he's doing a sterling job out on track. And Montana, Marquez's, Rafa begin to chase him down. This is going to be touch and go, guys. This final 2 laps could be the best 2 laps you'll ever see in league racing. Hang on to your hats, hang on to your popcorn, hang on to your alcoholic drink, whatever you've got with you, because this is League of Europe Division 1 and this is what racing was born for. This is going to be fantastic stuff. Can Sterling, hang on, is that a puncture? No, I thought that was a puncture on the rear end, it's not. But now Sterling under pressure. Montana, I think it's going to be inevitable, you know. It's going to be inevitable. Sterling's trying to hang on. If he can get a P4 out of this, this will be remarkable. Sterling now trying to go defensive. Montana will have to wait and sit and wait in behind him here. The more corners that Sterling goes through in front, the more confident he'll try and become. Juma's through on Rick in the meantime. Down into turn 1 there. He's got the move done. He's up to P6. And Juma's making up ground. He won't catch the leaders though. No chance whatsoever. ILRT Sterling, Montana, Marquez's, Rafa. It's a fatal 4-way to the end of the race here in Spain. WWE analogy coming out there for anybody that didn't know, but there you go. Sterling in the meantime. Marquez looks a lot quicker than Montana though. In the meantime, Sterling will hang on down the straight for shoeways. Marquez is going to eye up an opportunistic move. Not quite. We're going to go on to the final lap, and this is boiling up. My blood is boiling. I'm sure yours is too. This is going to be fantastic. What an end to the race this is going to be. ILRT Sterling, Montana, Marquez just gets a little bit of a tap there on Montana as we come in towards the final lap here in League of Europe. Sterling for the remarkable story. Can he hang on out there for another lap? Montana though closing in. It's inevitable, sadly guys. If you are an ILRT Sterling fan, hang your head in shame now because Montana is through. ILRT Sterling will try and hang this back. He is going to defend like crazy for a podium here, but Montana is through and he's up to the lead of the race. Sterling now giving way possibly through these two. Rafa is right on the back of Marquez's as well. This is it, shaping up to be a great lap. Well now Montana getting away. He could be extending his championship lead here at the meantime. Sterling, Marquez's, Rafa, all burning out for second. Oh my god, this is going to be half a lap. Montana, Sterling, Marquez's, Rafa. It looks like Montana, I think, is going to come out on top now. He's beginning to pull away from Sterling. Rafa picks up a 3-second time penalty. It's costly for the German. As Sterling tries to defend, Marquez a little bit slow. That just gives us Sterling a little bit of a run. And then Rafa going down the inside, possibly. Marquez is not committing the move again. A bit of a half commitment there. But Montana coming into the final sector now, through turn 12 for the final time. Montana's hanging on out in front. He's beginning to pull away though out in front. Marquez is just trying desperately trying to find a way through. Sterling is having an absolute defensive masterclass here. Is he going to be coming across the line in second? We hope so. Montana's across the line to win here. Sterling hangs on for second. What a remarkable performance from Sterling. Marquez is in third. Rafa in fourth. Cantera in fifth. The blood boiling. Joom is in sixth. Rick is in seventh, jumps ahead of him on penalties, while Ouija across the line in eighth. Plenty of changes. Joom is now down to 10th, in fact, as a result. Bullet Boy in 11th. Xjari in 12th. Oh, and there's a bit of a crash in the end there. Bullet Boy, Joom leaving the session. Gary Donegan across the line in 13th. Game Boy's 14th. Maledictus in 15th. And V5HRL will come across the line to finish in 16th as well. Absolutely remarkable end to that race. Montana wins here. I think quite deservedly so. But what would have happened if Game Boys and Rafa didn't make contact? It could have been a whole different complexion to that race. But my God, what an ending that was. What an ending. We now see the podium celebrations. It's Montana to the top step of the podium here in League of Europe Division 1 and takes a third win of the season and extends his championship lead as a result. Fair play to ILRT Sterling, who I never thought would get to the end of the race and has had a hard compound of tyres, making sure that one stop had lasted out. Brilliant performance. That's a driver of the day performance for me. ILRT Sterling gets it for me on driver of the day. Marquez is as well notable. Didn't really have the tyres to get to the end of the race, I think. We'll run through the podium, but run through the rest of the order now. It's Montana who wins, Sterling in second, Marquez is in third. There is your top three. Penalties unaffected as well. Rafa in fourth. He might feel a judge that 3-second time penalty could get removed. Watch out for that. Cantera in fifth, YHYY in sixth, Rick in seventh, Waluigi in eighth, Larkin in ninth, Joom in 10th, Xjari, Bullet Boy, Gary Donegan, Game Boys, Maledictus, V5HRL. They all finish 42 seconds separating the top 16. Very close racing up and down the field. Schiaparelli and Killer Blue, the only two not to finish here tonight. But for me, driver of the day has to be Sterling, making a one-stop last there. Oh my God. Oh my God. What an absolute performance. Goodness me. Goodness me. Oh, we can take a breath. We can take a breather now. I can take a bit of a lie down because I've got another commentary after this. At TTTV. If you want to come and watch that, I don't think it'll be as crazy as that ending in League of Europe, but my God, what a race. Division 2 is now on, guys, as well. 14 drivers out on track. And I think if Antoine Hubert was looking down on us tonight, we would have made him proud, because honestly, that was such a great race in such tragic circumstances here today. It's a shame, but there you go. There you go, let's have a look. Montana says, oh my God, I'm done. Absolutely done. One of the best races ever. That was a thrill to commentate on, and I hope it really has came across. Even with me in a sore throat, I really hope it came across that way as well. But I'm now going to bid you farewell. Tune in for Division 2 if you want to. Come and have a look at TTG Project Cars if you want to follow me. Later on tonight, I'm going to be doing that in about half an hour's time. So I'm going to get into the account and sign in there and get running for that. But until then, until next week, for League of Europe, I've been James Head 14, your Division 1 commentator. Thank you very much for watching, and until next time, goodbye.